in the invocation by Reverend Ivan Fuller of First Christian Church in Sioux Falls. After the invocation, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance, so I just ask everyone to rise at this time.
Will you pray with me, please? Holy Creator, you who did place in the hearts of people the desire for community many millenniums ago, we pause to thank you for that spirit that led pioneers 151 years ago to the banks of the Big Sioux to found here our wonderful city. You have blessed this city in so many ways. Do, Father, continue those blessings into the future. And especially bless the dedicated public servants who step forward to care for this home on the river beside the falls. May their selfless service inspire us all to care about this place and its citizens. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, tonight we have two proclamations, and one is Municipal Clerks Week, and so at this time Denise Tucker will come forward, and just to clerks, Deborah Owen is the city clerk, and then we've got Tamara Jorgensen and Denise Tucker here and Jamie Palmer, their assistants. So with that, is that on? Okay. The proclamation reads, whereas the office of municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and the agencies of government at other levels, whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state, province, county, and international professional organizations, whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now, therefore, I, Dave Munson, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim April 29th through May 5th, 2007 as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Deborah Owen, and to all municipal clerks for their vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Congratulations. And then we'd ask Tanya Draper-Douthit to come forward for the Sexual Assault Awareness Month. If we want to read the proclamation, it reads, whereas Rape and Domestic Abuse Centers has addressed sexual assault services and prevention for over 30 years in our area, serving 269 survivors during FY 2006. Whereas sexual assault affects every person in Sioux Falls, either as a victim, survivor of sexual assault, or as a family member, significant other, friend, neighbor, or co-worker. Whereas many citizens of our country are working to provide quality services and assistance to sexually assault survivors through staffing 24-hour hotlines, responding to emergency calls, and offering support, comfort, and advocacy during the initial reports to law enforcement, medical exams, and criminal justice proceedings. Whereas the volunteers, paid professionals, survivors, and community allies are working tirelessly to promote sexual assault awareness by offering educational programs to schools, churches, and civic organizations, as well as professional training to medical, mental health, law enforcement, education, and criminal justice personnel regarding sexual assault issues. Whereas wearing the teal ribbon will represent support against sexual assault. Whereas the voices of survivors offer us important insights into the personal pain and loss that victims endure, and are voices that deserve our country's attention and respect. Now, therefore, I, Dave Munson, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim April 2007 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Sioux Falls in collaboration with Rape and Domestic Abuse Centers. Thank you for being here. Let's get started here. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move.
Knutson, seconded by Benninga.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I need to remove myself because of business conflict on the consent agenda.
Okay, it'll be noted that Council Member Benninga has to be excused from the consent agenda.
Second by Litz.
You second it?
Yes, sir.
That's okay. Motion been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor of the motion to approve will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga, Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
All members present voted 7 yes, 1 excused. The consent agenda has been approved. Is there a motion at this time to approve the regular agenda?
So moved, Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh moved. Is there a second?
Second, Costello.
Costello seconded. Is there further comments on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to add a walk-in item to the agenda because of circumstances on a resolution to changing one street assessment.
I would like to second.
And you'll second that
Chairman
motion?
Jameson's
Okay.
motion.
Does everybody understand what the motion is? We're going to need 6 votes to walk it in, so everybody understands that. Further comments on the motion to amend? All in favor of that motion to amend will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
All members present voted 8 yes. That motion has been approved, so item 25 will be walked in tonight. Are there any other motions? Not. We've got a motion been made and seconded to approve the regular agenda as amended. All in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
Regular agenda has been approved 8-0 as amended. Now we're at the time when we allow 5 minutes for public input. Anyone that wishes to address the council for a period of 5 minutes may come forward and give your name and your address and come forward if you have a... Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Kadir Aware, address 2917 East 12th Street, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. My day address 515 North Main Avenue, Executive Director of the Multicultural Center. First of all, I want to thank you all to allow me to speak to you. My purpose for tonight to thank you all as the City Council and Mayor in the past for supporting Multicultural Center. Matter of fact, tomorrow is the 10 years anniversary of the Multicultural Center. And as a refugee, I came to Sioux Falls from Kurdistan of Iraq, October 1st, 1977. I see a lot of change in this community, and I grow up with it, and I call Sioux Falls my home. And I am very honored to be part of this community. The handout to pass to you is the second page, and there's talk about mission and goal of the Multicultural Center. which is many of our community members is supporting this mission. And the same time, second page after that is talking about 25 program Multicultural Center provide, and each program have a couple of line explanation what the program is all about. And the demographic of city of Sioux Falls page after that. I remember in '77 I came to city of Sioux Falls. Hardly you see somebody from different ethnicity. Sioux Falls is Midwestern state, 99.5% Norwegian and Irish and German and Dutch community, and was very different. Today, city of Sioux Falls are people from 94 different countries according to our databases, and speaking 124 different languages and dialogue. One in our program in the center is a driver education. Anybody walking to our office have application to fill and which country they coming from, which language they speak in. That's where the database is coming from. And a couple of pages after that give you the update of the number of the community in city of Sioux Falls, how we growing today. Apologize for that. We have 19,605 ethnicity in city of Sioux Falls today. Respected Native American community, 3,500. African American community, 1,500. Spanish community, 5,500. Sudanese community, 2,300. Bosnian community, 1,000. Russian community, 500. Ukrainian, 800. Ethiopian community, 1,200. Asian community, 1,500. Asian, we're talking about Chinese, Vietnamese, Cambodian, and Lao, and many other. Kurdish community is 130. Somalian community, 350. And many other ethnic from 4 people from those countries and to 50 to 100 people is about 1,200 people. So total ethnicity in city of Sioux Falls, 19,605. What's Multicultural Center mission and goal in this? To provide education for those people coming to our community, and same time be a resource for a mainstream culture, how we build the bridge of communication, and how we make in this city to be a better community for all of us. And one of the pages give you a statistic for a Multicultural Center, what we done. In 2005, Multicultural Center served 11,131 people coming to our center. From many different ethnic and community. And at the same time, Multicultural Center has been benefit for more than 3,000 college and university students, which is coming to our center and want to learn more about different ethnicity and different culture. Plus, with the Multicultural Center Festival of Culture last 2 years ago, 2005, 25,000 people attended Festival of Culture. This is a lot of differences we do. And again, in this handout for you, have a name and addresses of the new ethnic businesses in city of Sioux Falls. More than 94 businesses exist today in city of Sioux Falls, belong to the refugee, immigrant, and African American community, and Native American and Spanish community, which is very different in 25 years ago in city of Sioux Falls. With those diverse population in our community is some challenge for us to how we build a better understanding among us. So my advice is tonight, with respect to all our city council and the mayor, we have to do a little better job to reach out to the ethnic community. And I hope we're giving a chance to the people from many different ethnic to be part of our community. For example, city of Sioux Falls have about 1,300 employees, if I am correct. Very small amount of those staff is belong to those ethnic community. It's very important to somebody like me walk into the city hall to see few people from different ethnic community, to have a position, make me feel good. For example, I am very honored and proud to see Dennis sitting with you guys. For me as an ethnic and many ethnic, at the time we walk into those places, we see somebody from different ethnic, we have a hope. Tomorrow I can be there too. And at the same time, building a trust in our community is very important. And I encourage you guys to involve many other ethnic leaders in our task force. I know city have a lot of task force, board member and community group to make a decision, to involve other ethnicity in those positions, to be part of the decision making in our community. I've been lucky to be part of many of those organizations and community. Time I go, I not see somebody else is like myself to be part of decision making in this community. And we have a lot of educated people in this community, from African American community, Spanish community, Native American community, and Sudanese, and Ethiopian, and Russian, and Bosnian. I think it's our responsibility as a community leader to reach out to those people, to bring them in and give them a chance to make a decision with us. This way they feel they are part of the community, not just as a citizen, as a decision maker. This way my ethnic community member to be part of the community more stronger. So couple other program I like, update you guys. I know Mary told me only 5 minutes. One of the proud thing we do in the Multicultural Center last year and years, we created a Native American reading program, because we know the Native American youth way behind in many occasions. And this program to working with the Native kids only for a reading to be successful in our school system. At the time they're successful and go to middle school and high school and a college, they're going to be a good member in our community. If they don't have that education background, they're going to stand in the corner on the street and creating more taxpayers' money in the future to pay for their cost. And at the same time, we have a Native American club which averaging 75 kids in Native American community every Friday in our center. Another thing is really important, City Council, respect the City Council is be part of it. Many times we have a cultural activity in the Multicultural Center or someplace else. We invite people to come. We invite ethnic community leaders to come to those activities, such as Native American Power or Dr. King's celebration, Black History Month, Sudanese community celebration. Be honest with you, 90% we not see people be there. And the time you come into those celebrations to other ethnic, as a community leader, as a city council, as a mayor, those people feel good about themselves. They feel they are respected in the community, and they give that back to our community. My last one, I know you're going to cut me off, sir. As a part of me, 10 years been commissioner of the human relations in this city, and it's been honor for me, and many cases came in front of us. One thing I like to say, the last 10 years I worked with a lot of investigators at the Human Relations Commission. I'm going to tell this council and mayor, Jeff Mans is one of those people who have a lot of passion to human relations, to taking care of some issue came in front of us. And I hope city council and mayor go through some ordinance change, because our community growing to be more diverse. This way, the Human Relations Commission have more authority to overcome some of those challenges we have. So with that, I want to thank you all, and if any questions, I can respond.
Thank you.
Mr.
Appreciate
Mayor,
it.
I have a question. Yes. You have down a city-owned restaurant, the Falls Landing, being an ethnic business. Can you explain how our city-owned Falls Landing...
Which page?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I got the wrong business there. But I do have a question. The Falls Landing, is that owned by at 200 East 8th Street, is that owned by a minority person? Is that the reason it's listed?
That's one that's in that hotel. That is.
Yeah.
No.
That's in
Okay.
that hotel.
Okay.
That is.
Yep.
Thank you, Kadir. We appreciate it. And
You're
congratulations on the 10-year anniversary. Others that wish to address the council for a period of 5 minutes at this time? I see no one coming forward, so we will move into the regular agenda, item number 2.
Hi, Lori Bosman with the City Finance Office, and I'm here for items 2 through 6. Item 2 is a new package liquor license for Gijo LLC for the Puffin Stuff at 5108 North Cliff Avenue. Item 3 is a new package malt beverage license for the new Come and Go store to be located at 412 North Sycamore Avenue. Item 4, also a new package malt beverage license for a new gas stop to be operated at 3245 South Sycamore. Item 5, special one-day liquor license request for Great Bear Recreation Park to be held out at Great Bear. And these will be on June 2, 9, 16, and 23. And item 6 is a special one-day liquor license request for the Washington Pavilion for various events to be held on May 4, May 26, June 2, and June 6. I'd be happy to answer any questions on items 2 through 6.
Any questions of Lori on items 3 to 6? Any others wish to address the council on items number 2 through 6? Is it okay if we make one motion for items 2 through 6 to approve those all in one motion?
I so move.
Okay, Knutson moved. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded. Further comments? Not all in favor of the motion to approve items 2 through 6 will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
All members present have voted. Items 2 through 6 have been approved 8-0. Item 7.
Reconsideration, second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by adding thereto a new Article 7 to Chapter 39 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Reduced Taxation for New Commercial Structures or New Commercial Resident Structures thereto, or additions, renovations, or reconstruction to existing structures located within the city's designated area of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Mike Cooper, Planning and Building Services. This item pertains to our neighborhood tax abatement program that was scheduled to be reconsidered tonight by the council so that we could put together an ordinance amendment that would specify the types of uses that would be allowed to partake in this program. Staff has not had a chance to complete that amendment yet and review it with any of the council members. We do intend to do that this week, and we would like to defer this item to the May 7th City Council meeting.
Okay, is there council discussion or motion?
Yeah, Mike, I have a question. Will this amendment go to the Land Use Committee to look at?
I guess I would defer that to the council leadership.
I guess it was not felt that it was needed. It went to the Land Use Committee, and we voted to reconsider it, or recommended that it be reconsidered, and that's how it got to this stage, but we have not been involved since. I think we have a meeting Wednesday that will address this issue for the new language.
Is there further comments, or is there a motion to defer until May 7th?
Move to defer till 7th, Litz.
Let's made a motion. Is there a second?
Second, James.
Kavanaugh seconded. Further comments? Seeing no further comments, all in favor of the motion to defer until May 7th, item number 7, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
All members present voted. Item number 7 has been deferred until May 7th, 8-0. Yeah.
Just in case there's been a lack of communication on it, I think that meeting is at 3 o'clock here at the Carnegie on Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, it'll be noted that that's the time on Wednesday that will be noted. What are we on? Number 8.
Deferred action, second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by clarifying the notice provisions in Chapter 19, Article 3, nuisance and offensive conditions, and Chapter 25, Article 3, abandoned, wrecked, dismantled, or inoperative motor vehicles, and revising Chapter 11, Article 10, rental housing, sections 11.112 and 11.114 of the revised ordinances, which shall require the owner or responsible party to disclose whether he/she has failed to make timely corrections of health, nuisance, and other code violations within the previous 3 years under the permit requirements, along with repealing Section 11.119, the sunset provision of the rental registration section.
This is an ordinance that amends sections of our nuisance ordinances, as well as amending the rental registration ordinance and actually making that a permanent ordinance. As we discussed at first reading, we've been working very closely on these changes with the Sioux Falls Multi-Housing Association, and we have representatives here tonight from the association to speak to this amendment. As part of our discussion on these changes, there were a number of requests made by the Multi-Housing Association that we would continue to work together on in the future, we being the city and the rental association. And I just want to go back and read these again so that it's clear that we do have a good partnership established, and there's a number of things that we would like to work together in the future to continue to look at ways of of providing incentives for people to take good care of their rental property, and also to help give the community a better understanding of some of the issues that not only rental housing owners face, but also some of the tenants face. The issues that we're going to continue to pursue, number one, is looking at establishing informational programs for property owners on the city existing building code requirements to help address questions about remodeling projects and building improvements of existing older residential structures. Number two is to develop consistent letters regarding ordinance violations that would come from different city agencies, including police, health, building services, and forestry. Number three is establishing a tax abatement ordinance to assist and encourage property improvements and redevelopment projects, which is the previous item that I had just talked about. Number four, looking into a possible rental rehabilitation assistance program similar to one that we currently have for existing single-family housing. Number five, looking into neighborhood cleanup projects with both public and private volunteers that could be conducted in addition to the annual Project Nice and Keep program. And just as a side note, this week we are involved in our neighborhood Project Nice and Keep program, and the areas that we're concentrating on are the mayor's neighborhood conservation program area, as well as the neighborhood directly to the north of that. And there's actually a process going forth with the support of Councilmember Knutson on the Whittier neighborhood, putting together a voluntary cleanup project. And then number six is looking at establishing an educational program that would be administered by the Multi-Housing Association for rental property owners who receive citations for code violations. Those are the issues that we are going to continue to work on with the Multi-Housing Association. As far as the ordinance amendments, Judy Buseman from Health, Gary Caldwell at the Attorney's Office have been very involved in these changes, and I will defer to them if they have any comments about some of the specific amendments that are being recommended for approval tonight.
Judy Buseman, Health, be very short. Really, I think the establishment of the dialogue is really the important outcome. We've made some changes and clarification of process. We've identified better wording, and I think we even have some in wording as we've worked back and forth in that clarification and dialogue communication process that establishes, I think, the long-term commitment of the city departments and the multi-housing to work together, have communication on an ongoing, not just periodic basis. And I think those are the positive pieces. So we've got some wording changes we can go into, but I don't really know that they're substantially different than we are, just more clarification between the groups and what we each intend.
Questions of Judy? Do you want to make some remarks?
I'll make just a couple remarks about the rental registration provisions that are in this ordinance. I think first and foremost, what it does is continue the provisions of the rental registration ordinance. It removes the sunset provision and reenacts the ordinance with the amendments that are contained in the amendments that we are hoping that you would move to the ordinance. You have two drafts before you. One has further amendments that were negotiated at the table with the Rental Housing Association and their attorney, Scott Abdallah. We're very satisfied as a city with the changes. Also, the thing I think that is of critical import is some additional teeth were added to the rental registration ordinance. Basically, for any property that has had 3 violations during the 3-year term of the rental registration permit, the 4th violation will cause the permit to expire, and the owner of that property will have to obtain a new permit, and that permit will require an inspection of the property to make sure that the defects have been addressed. And I think all in all, it's an effort, a combined effort between the city and the industry to come up with a good compromise. I'll answer any questions, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I do have questions for Mike.
For Mike?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Mike, do you want to come up then?
Well, I'm very concerned about this proposed changes here, and I'm particularly concerned about the licensing issue. First of all, I was just wondering, who's actually the lead person on this ordinance? In other words, who's responsible for this? Because when I was in the state senate, whenever I would introduce legislation, my name was on there. I knew who was responsible. Here, I do not know who is the primary agency or person responsible for this ordinance.
The agency responsible for the nuisance ordinance would be health, and for the rental registration would be building services.
Okay, and since that's my primary concern, I guess my next question is that 3 years ago, the city council determined that the licensing would disappear. We made a policy statement that it would disappear at the end of this month. Now we have a change in the policy that the council made. And I guess I'm concerned that the planning department is making a policy change here. This is something that should have been initiated by the city council.
Kevin, go ahead. Let Kevin respond.
I'd like to respond to that, Mr. Chair. There was nothing in the ordinance that said this would disappear. It is a sunset clause. And if Senator Staggers remembers his days in the state legislature, sunset clause doesn't mean anything goes away. It just means that if you do not renew it, it will go away.
Well, I guess...
go ahead, you got the floor.
Yeah. I guess when you have a sunset provision, it does go away unless it's renewed. No. Now it is being renewed. And I'm just wondering, this is going against the policy that the city council had 3 years ago. I mean, the city council is supposed to establish policy, but here we have the your department making the policy change.
Mr.
I guess
Mayor,
I'm concerned about that.
This is merely a recommendation coming to this council, and when the council acts upon it, then it will become city policy by this council.
So we're just ratifying what...
No. When you vote, you'll state what your position is, and if the majority of the council recommends passage, that's the majority rules.
We're bringing it to the council. The council will set policy on their vote tonight of what they want to do. So, Pat?
Well, it just seems to me that if your logic holds up, Mr. Taggers, that we could never change any policy that we ever in previous councils would have set.
I guess I don't understand that reasoning. But when an organization like a city council makes policy, they're the ones that come up with it. What's going on now is that we have this being made by planning department, and they want us to ratify it.
You got to remember, with the input of the multi-housing people that they've been working for a long time on this together. It's been a joint effort, and again, it ultimately the recommendation that is brought to you tonight the policy will be set by the council here tonight.
We're going to
you will set the policy.
We're going to ratify what the planning department wanted.
Well, that's going to be a choice that the council is going to make.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not really making the policy. But let me continue here. I guess I'm concerned here about the general language in this ordinance. If you have 3 violations dealing with health, okay.
Wait till there's motion. You would. Are there further questions?
But I was going to ask him a question.
Okay, you're going to ask. You
about the vague language.
Okay,
yeah, Mike.
Go ahead.
We have vague language here, or other code violations.
Who are you directing it to?
To Mike.
Okay, Mike, you want to come up?
This is very general language.
I would like to defer to Gary Caldwell, the city attorney, who helped draft this language.
Okay.
Actually, the language is very specific because the violations are specifically identified. Excluded are tree, weed, other sorts of ordinance violations. We are limiting the 3 violations to nuisance building code sort of nuisance violations and health sort of building code violations. So I'm very comfortable, and frankly so was the attorney for the Multi-Housing Association.
It says 3 or more health, nuisance, or other code violations. I'm still concerned about these other code violations. It's very general.
Okay, are there further questions of Mike or Judy or Gary? Does anybody, other council member, wish to speak before? Council member, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, in regard to who is covered by this, my understanding is that if a person goes to Arizona for 3 months and they decide to rent out their home, apartment, or whatever they might have here in Sioux Falls, they are going to have to register. Is that true or false?
Yeah, this applies to all rental units.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to add, this is not just multi-housing or apartments or whatever. This is when people go on vacation and decide to rent out their home or apartment. They're going to be covered by this. And I think that's something that everybody in Sioux Falls should be aware of this, because this does happen on a frequent basis.
Further questions of Mike, Judy, or Gary? Are there others that wish to address the council?
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, good evening. My name is Scott Abdallah, and I'm an attorney and partner at the law firm of Johnson, Heideprum, Janklow, Abdallah, and Johnson. I represent the South Dakota Multi-Housing Association, and I've worked with them for a number of years. Some of you may recall that I appeared before you 3 years ago when the rental registration ordinance was being discussed. And at that time, the folks that I represent, which, by the way, the South Dakota Multi-Housing Association represents about 15 to 16,000 rental units in the Sioux Falls area. So we're probably talking about the majority of all the rental units in the city of Sioux Falls. The organization was founded in 1969, is governed by a board of 8 folks who are elected by the membership, and then within that there is a legislative affairs committee that I work closely with. 3 years ago, when I came before you in discussing whether or not the city should even have a rental registration ordinance, I think it's fair to say that initially the group that I represent was not overly enthusiastic about that ordinance. There was some concern about, it was new, and it was something that there was a lot of questions about and a lot of unknowns about, and the South Dakota Multi-Housing Association, however, values its working relationship with the city of Sioux Falls and the Planning and Zoning Department and the health folks, that we embarked on a partnership, if you will, in working out our differences on that original rental registration ordinance. And we worked together over the course of many, many weeks, and we negotiated back and forth on the language of that rental registration ordinance, and ultimately there was a draft that was prepared that we did not object to. And I came before you 3 years ago, and I think I told you that we are not here enthusiastically supporting this. We are not proposing this, but we are comfortable with the language in this because we share your goal of cracking down on chronic problem landlords in this city. Because the membership that I represent, frankly, shares the goal that you have of getting rid of bad landlords, if you will, and people that have chronic safety problems that jeopardize the health and safety of the folks in this community. I think it's fair to say that we come before you tonight with essentially the same position. And this has been something that has been discussed now for many, many weeks. We have been in close negotiations with the city attorney's office and Gary Colwell, Mike Cooper, with the folks in the health department. We have had multiple meetings to discuss this, and there has been language that has been changed back and forth to satisfy the concerns that the folks that I represent have. And we come before you tonight, again, not here to say we are proposing this, and we are not here to enthusiastically support this, but at the same time, we do feel comfortable that the changes that have been made are satisfactory, and they're changes that we can live with, and we think that it strikes a balance between protecting us and our membership against overzealous code enforcement, and at the same time helping to move forward on the joint goal that we have, which is cracking down on the chronic problem landlords in this community. This particular ordinance, as it's drafted now, does not result in a revocation of a landlord's ability to rent their unit until they have had more than 3 citations issued against them. Under this ordinance, they'd have to have 3 violations, which is either admitting that you have committed a problem and been fined for that, or actually going to court and being found that you have violated a nuisance or safety ordinance of this city. And then upon the 4th issuance of that citation, your ability to rent is finally revoked. We're comfortable that that strikes a fair balance and is not going to cast such a wide net that it is going to catch, frankly, the good, hardworking landlords in this community that work hard to keep their units safe and clean. So with that, I certainly would answer any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Scott. Questions of Scott?
Yes, Scott. I remember 3 years ago, and I think 3 years ago you said that if you really had a choice, you wouldn't want this ordinance at all. Is that a fair statement today also?
Well, I'm not sure those were the exact words 3 years ago.
No, they weren't the exact words, but that was the sentiment that you expressed, that if you really had a choice, no ordinance would have been preferred.
Well, in terms of your question today, again, I think that we have worked long enough and hard enough with the City of Sioux Falls and the representatives that we're comfortable with the language as it's drafted here today. Again, as I said, we're not here, this isn't an idea that we came up with. We're not here proposing this, but as it's drafted, we feel it strikes a fair balance between the interests of our membership and the goals that the city has in trying to protect folks against unsafe living conditions.
And also your concern with this very general language, health, nuisance, or other code violations. You're not concerned about that?
That's
or other code violations?
Sorry for interrupting. That's actually some language that we did negotiate on. Initially, it was drafted as you've stated. Then we proceeded to ask the city to add language in, and I think I'm looking on page, this would be section 11-114. It says 3 or more citations. I'm about 3/4 of the way down on 11-114. It says excluding any notices or violations issued pursuant to, and then we've cited a number of sections that we felt should not constitute a violation that should be included in this. Things like not shoveling your sidewalk and tree trimming violations and things like that. And so we are comfortable that we have excluded things that don't really relate to significant health and safety concerns.
And then also, I guess I have a concern that all the responsibility here is placed upon the property owner. Many times we have people living in apartments that are causing the problems. Do you have any concern that you're going to have people in apartments causing problems, then all the responsibility is going to be placed upon the landlord?
We did actually have a concern about that, and because of that concern, we changed the language a little bit from the previous ordinance to address that concern. And if you can take a look at section 19-51, notice to abate, about halfway down, it indicates that the owner of record, and then we included language, tenant, resident, or responsible party of any property found to be in violation shall be found to be jointly and severally liable as joint tortfeasors for a civil penalty imposed by the city. And so because we have now taken steps to change the ordinance from its drafting 3 years ago, we now feel that the city does have the ability to crack down not only on the problem landlord, but also on the problem tenant.
Further questions? Bob Litz.
Scott, let's say I have a piece of property and I violate for 3 years in a row, and these things happen, and then you take my permit away. What happens then?
You can come back and you can reapply, but under Section 11-114, two things have to happen before you can be considered for a new permit. Number one, an inspection needs to occur. And one thing that we did to change the language over the weeks of working with the city, there was a question of, well, inspection of what? What if you've got 3 violations but you own 500 units? Does that mean the city has the ability to come in and inspect every single one of your units and start nitpicking at things that maybe wouldn't have been an issue before? And so what we did is we changed the language in 11-114 to say that if you have had 3 violations in 3 years, your permit is revoked, but you can reapply once the city conducts an inspection of the problem unit or units. In this case, there'd be 3. And so we changed the language to dwelling unit. If you see about 3/4 of the way down, it says, a permit or renewal permit shall not be issued before completion of a satisfactory city inspection and approval of that dwelling unit's condition of habitability. And so that's the only time that there would be an inspection. That was a big issue 3 years ago about whether or not there were going to be inspections. And we still feel strongly that there shouldn't just be random inspections or automatic inspections when there's a permit. And so that's the only time that the city has a right to come out and conduct an inspection, and it's only of the dwelling unit that was the particular problem. And then also, in order to get your permit back, you have to pay all unpaid fines. You can't come and reapply if you still owe the city some money for some fines.
Okay, I guess the situation that I was thinking of is, so I've got my apartment, the people are still in it, you've revoked my permit, it's private property, you can't take it, you can't put the people out on the street. Does every day that I operate my place without a permit, is that finable? I guess I was wondering if this really had any teeth to it.
Well, as a landlord, of course, you have the ability to start eviction proceedings. If your landlord is not complying with what you're asking him to do under the terms of your lease, if the landlord is a problem landlord and they're violating city conditions, they can also now be held accountable. But the way I understand the drafting of this, if your particular unit is a problem, you will be given notice. You'll have an opportunity time will go by. You'll have an opportunity to correct that problem. If you don't correct it within the time period, you have an opportunity to further challenge it in court. And after you go through the court proceedings, assuming that you are found to have violated the city ordinance, then a fine will be imposed and you'll have time to pay that fine. That's a lot of time to go by to correct that one particular problem. And so, again, I think we're comfortable that allows the landlord enough leeway to address the particular problem that they may have.
Thank you.
Further questions? Kevin?
Scott, you indicated in your comments earlier that you share the city's goal of cracking down on bad landlords. What troubles me is there's no revocation of a permit until not after 1 violation, 2 violations, 3, but 4 violations. My question is, do you consider a landlord who has had 3 violations a good landlord?
No, and actually the way that this was proposed, after our last meeting, what we had proposed is that upon a finding of a 3rd violation, that the permit should be revoked. The language that's actually in here now was not proposed by us. And the language that's in here now says that actually upon an issuance of a 4th citation that the permit should be revoked. My group is comfortable that once a landlord has had 3 violations in 3 years, that upon the finding of the 3rd violation that the permit should be revoked.
Further questions? None. Thank you, Scott. Others that wish to address the council on item number 8? Not. Is there council discussion or motion? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of the ordinance.
Okay, Kavanaugh moved. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Knutson second. Motion been made and seconded. Is there further motions or comments?
Mr. Mayor, I believe in order to get this to the version that's acceptable to the Multi-Housing Authority, we need a substitute motion to adopt the revised ordinance that was presented to us last time versus the one that's being proposed tonight. I make that recommendation.
Is there a substitute motion?
Yes.
Okay, substitute motion to amend. Is there a second?
Brown seconds.
Brown seconds. Okay. Everybody, go ahead.
Yeah, just to clarify, so we're just going to have a substitute motion to amend, and then we'll go to the vote on our original motion then.
Right.
Okay.
So, okay, everybody understand that, what
I think
Councilmember Stagger said?
technically, if we do the substitute motion, that takes the place of the amendment.
Yeah. That's technically
Or do you want to make some comments now?
Well, yeah, I'd like to
Go
make
ahead.
some
Let's
comments.
do it then. Go ahead.
Is this the appropriate time?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Well, it shouldn't surprise anybody that 3 years ago I voted against this kind of ordinance along with 3 of my other colleagues on the City Council. And this time around it's even worse than it was 3 years ago. The licensing is now becoming permanent. Previous to that, it was going to expire at the end of this month. But this is just an example of incrementalism in government. You start off at one level, and then later on, a few years later, you add some more stuff. And this is what's going on here, and it's very, very unfortunate. In the future, I wouldn't be surprised that we'll have ordinances presented to just have flat-out inspections for other reasons. The foot is in the door right now for the inspections, and in the future, we'll probably have ordinances for more inspections taking place. Also, it's unfortunate, too, that we have so many people caught up in this ordinance. I mean, innocent people don't even know what's going on here with this. We have a lot of people that do not belong to the Multi-Housing Association that have rental units here in Sioux Falls, and they probably have no idea what's going to come their way here after this is passed. We also have the example, of course, of the many people who are going to just rent out their homes or apartments just for a few months or a few weeks a year. They have to comply with this. The net for this ordinance is very broad. And also, too, we have to mention that there is some provisions in this ordinance which are very oppressive. And particularly being able to put people out of business. This is a very serious issue here. We did that a few years ago with the garbage haulers. We get them licensed, and then we can revoke their license and they'll be out of business. This is the same thing that's going on right here. We license all these people that have rental apartment. If they don't comply, then we can put them out of business. This is very serious, being able to deprive people of their living. And so I would hope that you would all take this very, very seriously. This is not just some little minor ordinance. This is a very, very major ordinance.
Kevin?
Perhaps Councilor Staggers and I will agree on something once and for all. This is a very major ordinance. But I happen to be on the other side of this issue, and I don't think we need to kid ourselves that we have an issue in this community that our citizens talk to us about all the time, and that is the continued problem and a growing problem of unkept housing units. If you don't grasp the issue, I would just simply direct you or anybody watching or listening tonight to the city website, the city attorney's department, and the hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of citations that have been issued in the last 12 months, some of them to the same individuals. I think it's past time that we got serious about taking care of enforcing our own rules, and that's all this ordinance does. It ensures that we enforce our own rules. I would urge your adoption.
Bob Jameson.
Well, I was with Kermit in the minority, I think, when this was voted on 3 years ago. For a little different reason, that I didn't believe inspections were necessary. However, in the 3-year period that this ordinance has been in effect, we still haven't solved the problem of the bad landlord. And I think that's what the essence of this ordinance is to correct and make it more specific so that those people who are identified as bad landlords, we can have some action and get it resolved. So I'll be voting in favor of this tonight.
Vernon.
This is written for landlords, but truly what it does is protect renters. And I think we need to keep that in mind tonight. This is about safety and health of people who are the most vulnerable, living in conditions and in units that are not safe. And that's truly what this is about.
Okay, the chair is going to rule, we got a substitute motion to amend, and then if that passes, if this motion passes, then I'll need a new motion to approve the main motion as amended. So if this motion passes, then we'll just have one more motion, then we'll be done. So with the substitute motion, any further comments on the substitute motion? Not all in favor of the substitute motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
That substitute motion passed. Now is there a motion to approve the main motion as amended?
So moved.
Let's move. Kavanaugh seconded. Okay. Further comments on the motion to approve as amended? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor of that motion vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
No.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 no. Item number 8 has been approved as amended. Item number 9.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by amending certain provisions of Chapter 7 relating to animals and fowl, including increasing the fees for licensing dogs and cats.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
This particular ordinance amendment is brought before the council by the city attorney and the police department. Lieutenant Tom Olson is here from the police department to speak to the ordinance amendments. If there are any specific technical questions, I will advise the council that the essence of the amendments are housekeeping to clarify that animal control is now under the purview of the chief of police and the police department. I would also point out some changes that are more substantive in nature, a definition of apparent attitude of attack so that we can deal more effectively with vicious animals. When we're dealing with the owner of an animal, we have specified that any adult residing within the home is an owner of the animal for the purposes of this particular ordinance. That way we don't run into the situation where a husband and wife each claim that the other is the owner of the animal, therefore no one is responsible. And also specified that only a veterinarian licensed may be able to inoculate animals. And finally, we have significantly increased the licensing fee in this ordinance for unneutered animals, not for neutered animals, only for unneutered animals.
Are there questions of Gary? Bob?
One question, I don't know whether Officer Olson can answer this, but someone sent an email here a couple of months ago or so asking about the annual requirement for certain vaccinations that some cities have gone to 2 and 3 year intervals. Is that something that's been considered?
Yes, Tom Olson, Police Department. That is something that we're looking at. In fact, it is addressed indirectly through the ordinance. The Board of Health has reviewed the rabies vaccination periods and determined that a 2-year period is satisfactory for dogs at this point. As I understand it, I guess the research for cats is inconclusive, thus that's not being increased this time, being maintained at a 1-year vaccination. So we're working in the right direction, I believe.
Good, thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Other questions?
Yeah, in regard to the ordinance with the unneutered dog being $50 for the license, and then for cats it's $25. I was looking at that ordinance and I wasn't clear. Is that a initial license, and then how long does that last, and how much does it cost to renew?
For the dogs, actually, that is a 2-year license. That's the
two-year license.
reasoning for the difference between the 50 and 25. Dogs, 2 years, cats, 1 year, and that is from the date of issuance.
And then they renew, and is it for another 2 years or 1 year? Or
That's correct. For 2-year periods for dogs, 1 year.
So
for
that'd be
cats.
another 50 then?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 9? Is there council discussion or action on item number 9?
I move for approval. Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh seconded. Further comments on the motion to approve item number 9? See no further discussion. All in favor vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
No.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
All members present voted 7 yes, 1 no. Item 9 has been approved. Item number 10.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, correcting clerical errors in certain rezoning ordinances.
This is an item that we bring to you, unfortunately, on an annual basis. As we go through the year and we discover that there are errors in legal descriptions for various items that are discovered after the fact, we do need to come back and correct those descriptions. So in this case, we have 6 items that have been previously approved by the City Council that we would like to make minor corrections to the legal description.
Questions of Mike on item number 10? Let's go to 11.
First reading, major amendment 2007-03-15, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending Chapter 15-45-070, Plan Development Districts, allowing changes in land uses as reflected in the revised sub-area regulations, South 7th Avenue and East 17th Street. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is a change to the land use on a portion of the campus of Avera McKinnon Hospital. This particular location is adjacent to an existing parking lot, and it's going to be the proposed site for a new centralized generator plant for the hospital.
Questions of Mike on item number 11? Let's go to 12.
First reading, rezone 2007-0220, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at West Madison Street and North Marion Road to rezone and subdivide the subject property for residential development on 76 lots and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is approximately 40 acres of land on the north side of Madison and the west side of Valley View Road. The applicant is Signature Homes, and the petition would allow for the single-family residential as well as approximately 3 acres of future multifamily residential.
Questions of Mike on item number 12? Bob Litz.
Mike, when will Madison Avenue, now that's not finished right now, is it a gravel road, Madison, or is it a single lane asphalt?
It's currently gravel.
Okay, and then I saw where, what's the street that would run north and south on the west end of it? Or Valley View?
Valley View is the east side, yeah.
Okay, Valley View is not...
Right. Those improvements will be scheduled with the developer as they come in with the phasing, and then it's something that we're also going to be addressing through our capital improvement program process.
Okay, will the section from where the Mary Carey School, where Valley View ends in the trailer court, there's a road or a right-of-way, it looks like it there, will that be connected as well at
Yes.
that point?
Mm-hmm.
Very good, thank you.
Further questions on 12? 13.
First reading, rezone 2007-21, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at West 85th Street and Pinnacle Avenue to construct a municipal water tower as part of a regional water project and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is approximately 2 acres of land that's currently owned by the City of Sioux Falls, and it is a proposed site for a future elevated water storage facility. It will be on the south side of 85th Street, just to the east of 2 existing water storage facilities that are owned by Minnehaha Rural Water Corporation.
Questions of Mike on 13? 14.
First reading, rezone 2007 3-3, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 3000 East 6th Street to develop a 15-unit single-story apartment building and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is a portion of the Bentwood Park addition, which is located on the north side of 6th Street, just east of Cleveland Avenue. And this property has been zoned as office use for some time. The developers are now proposing to come in with a one-story apartment complex, and that would require the zoning change to multifamily residential.
Questions? Let's go to 15.
First reading, rezone 2007-3-7, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at West 82nd Street and South Beale Avenue to rezone the subject property for future subdivision and development of 65 single-family residential house lots and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is approximately 17 acres of land. It's located southwest of the Harrisburg Explorer Elementary School, and the petition is being made by Palace Construction, and the land is proposed to be used for single-family residential.
Questions of Mike on 15? Go to 16.
First reading, rezone 2006-11-1, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls rezoning property at 1904 South Cliff Avenue to allow a current motor vehicle upholstery and restoration business expansion south into the subject property with construction of an accessory parking lot and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is on the east side of Cliff Avenue, just south of 26th Street. The landowner petitioner is the owner of the Cliff Avenue upholstery business. This property at one time was the site of a city water tank, and the building directly to the north is an old fire station. The applicant is proposing to rezone the vacant land that was the tower site for additional off-street parking in conjunction with the upholstery business. And the primary purpose of doing this is to improve the safety of ingress and egress onto Cliff Avenue for this business location.
Questions? Let's go 17.
First reading, rezone 2007-2-24, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at West 22nd Street and South Menlo Avenue to expand the health care campus and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is an application by Sanford Health to continue the expansion of their campus to the east. And the application that is being submitted for consideration initially included some properties that are currently not owned by Sanford Health. In the past, what we've done with both hospitals when they've come in with expansion plans and they are in the process of acquiring property, we have asked them to start out with the squaring off of the blocks just to make it easier for purposes of legal description. And then as we meet with the neighbors, some of the neighbors are okay with including their property and some of them are not. In this particular case, the neighbors have indicated that they would not like to participate in the rezoning at this time. And so we will be coming back at second reading with an amended legal description that will only include the properties currently owned by Sanford Health.
Questions of Mike on 17? Let's go to 18. Okay, Bob, let's.
Mike, you know, I don't live too far from here, and I've been watching this campus expand, and I know about what's going on the west side. And, you know, I know we put the new sewer system in down there on 17th Street on the north end of the campus, along with some of it down 18th Street and around that neighborhood. And as this moves on, it just occurs to me that there's a lot of runoff from water. And I'm not aware of any detention ponds or retention ponds on their premises there. And I'm wondering, how is this being handled for this campus? It's getting awfully large with a lot of runoff.
We have been working with the hospital quite closely in the past on the west side where some of their temporary parking lots have been allowed. And it sounds like soon we'll be seeing plans for the new children's hospital. Any of their new development does have to meet the current city ordinances. So drainage is an issue that we will be working very closely with the hospital on to actually improve the drainage in this neighborhood for any of their future construction, whether it's going to be a parking lot or a building.
Very good. Thanks, Mike.
Kevin?
They have to meet the current city ordinances. What are the city ordinances? Or what is the requirement?
Well, all their projects will go through review by city engineering to meet the current drainage requirements for BMPs, for neighborhood drainage that we have to comply with. Vernon?
Didn't you or Public Works at one point tell us that they are actually meeting, when they take a house down, they're meeting the same drainage standards as if a house is there versus a parking lot?
In most cases, but if they come in and you know, with the residential, there's still quite a bit of open space with the yards. So when they do come in and redevelop those properties with additional impervious runoff surface, it does potentially increase the amount of runoff, and so that's where we have to make sure that it does comply with our drainage requirements.
Mike, was it the detention pond at Spellerberg, did that take some of this water, or is that why some of that was done?
Yes, that was designed to address some of the central neighborhood area drainage problems.
Further questions? Let's go to 18.
First reading, rezone 2007-3-10, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at the southwest corner of 26th Street and South Cliff Avenue to rezone to reflect current land uses and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is a rezoning request for Woodlawn Cemetery, which was established back in 1905. And I'm not sure how many years ago, but that corner was shown as future multifamily residential. I believe that at one time the Cemetery Association was anticipating that they might sell off some of that land. But now they've come in with an expansion plans to add more cemetery plots. And so we're just cleaning up the zoning on this property to make it conform to the current land use.
Questions of Mike? Let's go to 19.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, providing supplemental appropriations. Health, $20,000.
This $20,000 appropriation is for the HAB coordinator position that is jointly shared with Minnehaha County. It's in the health department because Hugh and I do some of the coordination there. It'll be a county employee. This is for our portion of the 2007 salary as projected.
Questions?
So just to clarify, Judy, the remaining salary for 2007 is $40,000 then?
It's right around $40,000. The person hasn't been hired yet, so there isn't an exact salary, but the Carrie Devers has given us a projected salary and benefits number.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? Let's go to 20 then.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the City of Sioux Falls by revising Exhibit A, referred to in Section 39-82 of said code, providing for rural service district lands.
This is an item that we have not discussed with the City Council for quite a few years. By state law, there's a provision that when land is annexed into the city, into a municipality, as long as it continues to be used for agricultural purposes, that the City Council has the authority to designate that as a rural service district, and essentially allows the property to continue to be taxed at the same rate as it was before it was annexed. And we have approximately 97 properties over the years that have been designated as rural service districts. This particular request comes back to us from an annexation that occurred in 2004 when we were working with the property owner, Beal Distributing, on land for the Harrisburg Explorer Elementary School site. We also included this property into an annexation request, and the property owner was under the impression that there would be a future action taking this to the City Council to place it under that rural service designation. Well, we discovered that that never happened, and so now after the fact we're asking to come back and for you to approve this, and then we will be working with the Lincoln County folks to go back and look at the retrofit as far as the property taxes. So we're coming to you 2 years after the fact for this to continue to be used for a rural service district. The land is agricultural, so it does meet the requirements. And it's just an oversight that we didn't discover until recently.
So, Mike, has this person been paying higher property taxes than they should because they didn't have this?
Yes.
So, are they going to get that back?
They'll go to the county equalization
They'll
through
file
that
an
process.
application for an abatement. This
Yes.
would qualify for an abatement.
Okay.
Yes.
Further questions on item number 20?
It's approximately 100 acres of land that's involved.
Bob Litz.
Mike, every year out the legislature they talk about Ag YZ, and it turns into a deal. Was this our local alternative to some of the problems that it's created over the years?
Well, this was, I don't know when the state law was initiated, but it was really put in place to encourage developers to come in and annex their land so that we could work with them on the coordination of future roads and utilities. But until they get ready to develop the land, they would still benefit from the reduced taxation.
Further questions on item number 20? Not. Is there a motion to set the hearing date for items 10 through 20 for May 7th? The second reading? Kavanaugh moved. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Knutson seconded. Further comments? No further comments. All in favor of the motion to approve items 10 through 20 for the second reading for May 7th will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 10 through 20, the second reading is set for May 7th. Item 21.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, annexation 2007-3-3, Van Huvelen at 85th Street and Western.
It will be noted that Councilmember Jameson will be excused from the discussion and vote on item 21.
This is a petition from the property owner requesting annexation of approximately 12 acres of land on the south side of 85th Street, directly east of the proposed city water storage facility. And the staff is recommending approval of this annexation request.
Questions of Mike on item 21? Others that wish to address the council on item number 21? Is there a motion by the council to approve item 21?
Move to approve, Litz.
Let's move. Is there a second?
Second round.
Brown seconded. Further comments? Motion been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson, Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
All members present voted 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 21 has been approved. Item 22.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, annexation 2007-3-1, 60th Street North and I-229, Sioux Empire Development Park 8.
These are two parcels of approximately 126 acres. They are currently owned by the Sioux Falls Development Foundation, and they are in the process of including this as part of the future Development Park 8 area. City staff is recommending approval of this petition requesting annexation.
Questions of Mike on item 22? Others that wish to address the council on item number 22? Is there a motion by the council to approve item 22?
Move to approve, Brown.
Brown moved. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Who seconded?
Litz.
Litz seconded. Okay. Motion been made. Second. All in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 22 has been approved 8-0. Item 23.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, annexation 2007-3-2, Runge at 60th Street North and Velocity.
This is approximately 35 acres of land owned by Runge Construction, which is directly adjacent to the previous annexation. And this was also planned for future industrial development, and staff is recommending approval of this petition requesting annexation.
Questions of Mike on item number 23. Others that wish to address the council on item 23. Is there a motion by the council?
I move for approval.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson seconded. Further comments? No further comments. All in favor of the motion to approve item 23, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
All members present vote. Item 23 has been approved 8-0. Item 24.
Preliminary Subdivision Plan 2007-3-14 Discovery Park addition to the City of Sioux Falls, Minnehaha County, South Dakota, West 22nd Street, east of Ellis Road, to create a new subdivision for single-family residential development. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is approximately 80 acres of land owned by Ronning Companies. It is proposed for additional single-family of approximately 190 lots, if I counted them right. And this is an area that includes the extension of 22nd Street over to the T. Ellis Road. We did discuss the potential vacation of that some time ago, but now the intent is to continue with the street improvements, and that's going to be scheduled to be done this year. It does meet all of our requirements, and the Planning Commission as well as city staff are recommending approval.
Questions of Mike on item 24. Others that wish to address the council on item number 24. Is there a motion by the council to approve item 24?
So moved.
Let's move. Is there a second?
Second, Costello.
Costello seconded. Further comments? See no further comments. All in favor of approving item 24, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
All members present vote. Item 24 has been approved 8-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor, we have number 25.
Oh, 25, excuse me. Premature.
A resolution changing one street assessment.
Chad Hebe, Office of Public Works, Engineering Division. I just want to thank the mayor and members of the council for adding this to tonight's agenda. This resolution cancels interest associated with the sanitary sewer assessment project that the city started in 2004 and completed in 2005. The project area is on Old Orchard Trail, which is east of Southeastern Avenue and south of 26th Street. The project was initiated because of failing septic tanks. After construction, one of the property owners was not satisfied with the lawn restoration. The area was very, very wet, and the vegetation that we replanted just would not take hold in that moist conditions. The project was closed out, and the assessment roll was approved by this council on April 10th of 2006. The property owner's assessment was $12,350.10. City staff has worked with the property owner the last year on different attempts to restore her lawn, but nothing has worked. And we have plans now this summer to go back in and do some other work to try to take care of the moist and drainage conditions. So in March, the property owner came in and gave us a check for the full assessment amount minus the engineering fees. And we responded to her that it would take council action to waive part of that assessment. So we had further discussions with her, returned her check. At that point, we suggested that we would come to council and ask that $1,000 worth of interest, which is now accrued, be canceled out. We brought that forward tonight because her assessment will be due at the end of this month along with her property taxes, and we would like to get this cleaned up now before anything is shown as delinquent on her taxes. So because of these circumstances, engineering is recommending approval of this resolution to cancel the interest and penalties associated with this assessment project.
Go ahead.
You mentioned that you wanted to get rid of the engineering charges. How much were the engineering charges?
The engineering charges were around $1,500.
Further questions of Chad, item 25? Bob?
Just a side note on this. The reason she needs to have this done is the fact that assessments are due before taxes can be paid, and if you don't pay the assessments, your taxes become delinquent. So that's why she would like this action taken care of.
Kevin?
Chad, you indicated that we've had a difficult time restoring their property to the condition it was prior to the project. Does this then, by canceling out the interest charges, is that in effect a settlement with the property owner?
I believe so. As we work through this, the property owner is associated with Cliff Avenue Greenhouse. So we, in fact, did pay money to Cliff Avenue Greenhouse to come back in to attempt restoration of the area. I don't know what happened if during the construction we opened up a vein or something that just the entire area was very, very wet. And we're going to go back in and try to install some drain tiles or drain tile to drain that area, and then come back in with some new sod.
You said you believe so. I just want to make clear, is this in fact going to settle the issue?
In my mind, yes.
All right.
Further questions of Chad on item 25? Others that wish to address the council on item 25? Is there a motion by the council?
Move. Second, Jameson.
Knutson moved, Jameson seconded to approve item 25. Further discussion? See no further discussion. All in favor of the motion to approve item 25, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
All members present voted. Item 25 has been approved 8-0. Now I'm on cue, aren't I, for adjournment?
Executive session. Executive session.
Pardon?
No.
No executive session tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
There's no executive session?
If I might, Mr. Mayor, Doug Dybert, the attorney who's representing the city, was at the informational meeting at 4 o'clock, but he was not available for tonight, so we'll reschedule at another time.
Okay. Second the motion to adjourn.
We've got a motion seconded. All in favor, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
We stand adjourned.